Hello, students. Mr. Murphy. We are on lesson 5, solving equations with radicals. We're just going to talk about positive solutions to equations that are equivalent to x squared equals a number or x cubed equals a number. So let's go back and remember from just before winter break, solving equations. We have the properties of equality. If I'm adding something, if something's equal, and I add or subtract something to the both sides, the same thing, it's still equal. Multiplication and division is the same thing. If two things are equal and I multiply or divide by the same number, they're still equal. The distributive property, A times the quantity of B plus C, I can multiply A times C plus B times C. And the associative property, if I have group numbers in this way, then I can group numbers in that way and add them together, and they're still the same. Okay? But that's only with addition. So our 4 steps in solving equations. Distribute if necessary, combine like terms if necessary, add or subtract to get the variables on one side, and then multiply or divide to solve the variable. And then the 5th part would be check your answer or verify that you're correct. So for example, here's a complicated equation, but something we should be able to do. 5x plus 9x equals 3 times 4x minus 7. So I'm going to actually, I should distribute first, but I combined like terms, so I added 5x and 9x, got 14x. Now I'm going to distribute, so 3 times 4 is 12x, and then 3 times 7 is 28. I keep the minus. So now I've got 14x equals 12x minus 28. Subtract 12x on both sides. I have 2x equals a negative 28. Divide by 2 on both sides. X equals negative 14. So that's something you should be able to do. When we have exponents, everything's the same. We have the same rules. It's just when we get to the end, we're also going to find the square root or the cubed root of something. So here's a very similar equation. X cubed plus 9x equals 1/2 times 18x plus 54. So I'm going to distribute. I did that right first time. So half of 18x is 9x, and half of 54 is 27. Then I'm going to subtract 9x on both sides because I've got nothing to combine. So 9x minus 9x, 9x minus 9x. So these all cancel out. So I end up with x cubed equals 27. Find the cube root of both sides. So the cube root of x cubed is just x, and the cube root of 27 is 3. I could use my calculator, or I can say 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. So it's the same basic stuff we're doing. Now I'm going to verify it by putting a 3 in everywhere there was an x. So 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. 9 times 3 is 27. 18 times 3 is 54. Add up the 54 and the 54 inside. Half of 108 is 54, so we've got 54 equals 54. So solve and verify. X times quantity x minus 3 minus 51 equals negative 3x plus 13. I'm going to distribute. So x times x is x squared. X times 3 is 3x. That's a minus, a minus. This hasn't changed. I'm going to add 3x on both sides. So these are going to cancel out. These are going to cancel out. So I have x squared minus 51 equals 13. I'm going to add 51 on both sides. These are going to cancel out. And 51 plus 13 is 64. So I have x squared equals 64. Find the square root of both sides. Square root of x squared is x. The square root of 64 is 8. Now, it could be a positive or negative 8. but that's going to be something we're going to worry about at a later time. We're generally just worrying about positive answers this year. Okay? I can verify, though, both positive and negative. I put a positive 8 in for x, I end up with negative 11. And if I put a negative 8 in everywhere there was an x, I end up getting 37 equals 37. So both of those answers work, but we're only worrying about the positive this year. So in summary, equations with exponents are solved in basically the exact same way as any other equation. You're going to combine like terms, you're going to distribute, you're going to add or subtract to get your x's on one side, and then you're going to multiply or divide. So you have just an x, and then you're going to get a square or a cube of those numbers. And that is lesson 5.